Hello, my name is Dana Richardson. I am currently a third grade teacher with Johnston County Public Schools. I teach third grade at East Clayton Elementary. This is my second year teaching. Um, and again, I do teach third grade. Some of the major grade level focuses or revisions are I have to teach all subjects in the third grade. So I do teach ELA, social studies, science, and math. We do have quite a bit of reading with our ELA and math. Some of the major focuses are on ELA and also math. Those are our larger blocks of class during an instructional day at school. I would say that some of the standards for math would be especially for elementary education, like a discrete math crosswalk, or I would use the 2017 crosswalk, K through 8 mathematics. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Or according to DPI, some of the standards for math, especially for K8 would be, or I would say a focus, a focus for third grade would be, an example would be a focus on different clusters, such as stories with addition and subtraction. And the standard for addition and subtraction is the NBT.2 OA8. And this is a focus for students working with number talks, subtraction, also compatible numbers, using anchor charts to help students with addition and subtraction, number talk clusters. These are just different lessons, how it's broken up, and the resources that we would use. Also in instructional assessments, such as an example will be cafeteria lunch orders, which is the NBT2. So it gives us an example of how to do an assessment on a student, what to look for when and while we are assessing the students. Some of the standards would be, get back to it. Again, there's different standards for different or each grade level within the school. But I will say the Common Core standard, which is a state standard for mathematics or math within the state of North Carolina. The Common Core, which sets like a standard for different goals and expectations for the knowledge of the students that and skills needed for students for English and math. So I would have a focus on math to make sure students are getting the in-depth learning and studying that they need for their math. So yeah, the standards that we look for are to make sure that the teachers, when we're teaching, we meet or or try to give an in-depth understanding. We should have an in-depth understanding of the knowledge that we're needing so that we can present the material to the students, such as critical math concepts, in a way that the students are able to understand. You don't want to teach it in a rigorous atmosphere or a way that the students cannot understand. So you want to make sure that the standards are explainable, understandable by the students so that they can understand what I, as a teacher, would be trying to teach them. There are different standards for certain grade levels. An example will be there's 8 standards for the mathematical practice, which is also SFMP, which is for grades 6 through 8, which is making sense of problems and perverse in solving them, reason abstractly and I can't say the word, construct viable arguments and critique the reasoning of others, model with mathematics, use appropriate tool strategies, attend to precision, look for and make use of structure, look for and express regularity in repeated reasoning. And again, this is all to make sure that the students are understanding the way that we're teaching. There are effective teaching practices that I and also other teachers as myself will have to follow. We need to make sure that we establish the goals so that the students can focus on the learning, to make sure that they do understand the concepts that is being taught. Implement tasks that promote reasoning and problem solving. Use math to help connect with, for example, everyday life. Facilitate meaningful mathematical discourse. We should also pose purposeful, questions that has a purpose, meaningful questions. Support those struggling learners with math. And we should use evidence of student thinking while we're also trying to teach and also doing different assessments. And also have reflection questions. How are our practices connected? Are the students understanding the way that the lesson is being taught? Did we differentiate the lesson for our higher learnings and our lower students? Just having different meanings for everyone to make sure everyone is on the same page. Everyone has a in-depth understanding, so that no one gets lost or, left behind. So we want to make sure everyone is on the same page. And I believe that is all the material that I have dealing with math, the Common Core math. And Common Core math for the state of North Carolina, I believe, is across the state. Nothing's no different from one county to the next. So we do have a standard that we must follow. And it's broken down into each grade level, such as kindergarten, first grade, second, third, all the way up until high school. So the math does start to become different once you get into the higher grades. But again, I teach third grade, so I chose third grade. And the standards for third grade for their math would be making sense of problems and perverse in solving them. Model with mathematics. Use appropriate tools strategically. Attend to precision. Look for and make sure we're using the structure as the way that we're supposed to, and construct valuable arguments and critique the reasoning of others. So this kind of opens up the floor for those that, don't quite get it. So that's where I would come into play, where I would have different things so that the students can kind of understand, maybe like having a game here or there. It could be small group lessons, but the main idea is just to make sure all students understand the material so that no one is left behind and they do not feel left out. Another tool for third grade would be the clusters. Additional resources would be like addition and subtraction anchor charts, a sample chart. For family night ideas, we could use addition and subtraction games, math routines for number talks, also two-step word problems, that's more practice, and also different assessments will be compatible numbers from 100 to 0, flexible seating. Also, our lessons would include addition, number talk, arrow cards, summer vacation. Those are just some ideas that we could use with the lessons and staying with the standards of North Carolina of what they say that we have to use. So that is my view on a curriculum for math, the North Carolina Standards, the course of study, and how I think a teacher should be teaching. The goal is to make sure every student learns, even though everyone learns on a different level, different base. Some are higher and some are lower and some are like in between. That's when you go, okay, I'm going to do this for my higher students, do this for my middle students, and like for my lower students, I would do this to make sure every student is getting the same material. It's just in a different manner. It could be some lessons are a little harder, some a little lower, so that the lower students can really stay up to par and not fall behind. But it's just something that all students can participate in, and the teacher has to reevaluate herself to make sure, for example, for myself, that I make sure that my students are all getting the same information that's needed for everyone to be successful. Thank you.